Hello, my friends. Here's a number that might surprise you. Over 65% of adults over 60 are unaware that certain vegetables. Yes, vegetables can interfere with their heart medications or raise their blood pressure if prepared or eaten the wrong way. The same foods that once nourished your younger body might now strain your heart or cancel out your medication's protective effects. So let me ask, have you ever wondered if something on your plate, something green, fresh, or heart healthy, could actually be putting your heart at risk? I'm Dr. Jarek, and here on this channel, we dive into the lesser known truths about senior health. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Just type the name of one vegetable you always assumed was good for your heart. You might be surprised by what you learned today. Top 5 healthy veggies that harm your heart. After 60, because here's the truth: after age 60, your body changes how you process nutrients, how your heart reacts to stimulation, and how medications interact with food. It's no longer just about what you eat. It's how your body handles it. That's why in this video, we're going to look closely at 5 vegetables foods that seem harmless or even helpful, but can secretly raise your blood pressure, interfere with your blood thinners, or overwhelm your heart's ability to function. You'll learn which vegetable can neutralize your heart medication if eaten inconsistently, which refreshing side dish contains more sodium than a bag of chips, why a beloved spicy ingredient may trigger dangerous heart rhythms, how a trusted natural remedy could cause internal bleeding when mixed with common prescriptions, and which raw superfood may carry bacteria too risky for an aging immune system to handle. Now, don't worry, video top 5 healthy veggies that harm your heart. After 60 is not about fear, and it's about clarity. Because your heart doesn't need perfect choices, it needs informed ones. So take a deep breath, stay with me, and get ready to rethink a few everyday habits. Because up first is a leafy green we've long praised, but that may be weakening your heart's defense without you even knowing. Let's talk about spinach. Spinach! It's the poster child for clean eating. Rich in iron, packed with fiber, loaded with vitamins. For decades, we've been told to eat our greens, and rightly so. But here's something most people don't realize after 60, especially if you're on heart medication: that innocent bowl of spinach could be interfering with your body's ability to prevent a stroke. Let me explain. Spinach is naturally high in vitamin K, a nutrient your body uses to help blood clot. That's great unless you're taking a blood thinner like warfarin or Coumadin, which is prescribed to prevent clots after a heart attack, stroke, or in conditions like atrial fibrillation. These medications work by reducing your blood's clotting ability, but vitamin K does the opposite. It thickens the blood. And here's the real problem most seniors don't know: this interaction exists. They assume eating more greens can only help, not realizing that large or inconsistent amounts of spinach can weaken their medication's effect, making their blood more prone to clots. According to the Mayo Clinic, sudden dietary changes in vitamin K intake can alter warfarin's effectiveness, putting you at risk without warning. Margaret, a 62-year-old retired librarian from Illinois, learned this the hard way. After deciding to get healthier, she started drinking a green smoothie every morning loaded with spinach, kale, and parsley. She felt great. But a few weeks in, she began experiencing strange vision disturbances and trouble speaking. A trip to the ER revealed a mini stroke. Her doctor was stunned her medication hadn't changed, but her diet had. She had unknowingly overloaded on vitamin K, which dulled her warfarin's effect, making her blood too thick and vulnerable to clot formation. Margaret didn't need to stop eating spinach. She just needed consistency and medical guidance. That's the takeaway here. Spinach is not the villain. Here's what you can do. Aim for consistent, moderate intake, not huge servings or sudden increases. Cooked spinach contains less vitamin K per volume than raw, so sautéing or steaming may be a safer option. Always keep your medical team informed about new recipes or smoothies you're trying. Think of your medication and your meals like a team they need to coordinate, not compete. Up next, we'll explore a crunchy favorite that often hides in plain sight, but may pack more salt than a fast food meal. Let's talk about pickled vegetables. They're crisp, they're tangy, and they often show up next to your favorite sandwich or sit in the corner of your dinner plate without a second thought. Pickled cucumbers, canned beets, jarred olives, even homemade pickled vegetables can feel like harmless side dishes. But for seniors over 60, especially those with high blood pressure or a history of heart problems, These innocent bites can quietly tighten the noose around your arteries. Here's the reality: just a few slices of pickled vegetables can contain over 1,000 milliliters of sodium. That's two-thirds of your entire daily recommended limit in one tiny serving. The CDC warns that older adults are more salt sensitive, and excess sodium can cause fluid retention, spike blood pressure, and place enormous strain on your heart. Think of sodium like a sponge. It holds water inside your bloodstream. More water means more volume, and more volume means your heart has to work harder to push blood through narrowed, aging arteries. The result: hypertension, arterial stiffness, and, over time, serious heart failure. Robert, a 69-year-old former truck driver, had been eating clean for months. He cut out fried foods, started walking daily, and even gave up alcohol. Yet his blood pressure refused to budge. His doctor was puzzled until they reviewed his diet more closely. Every evening, Robert added pickled onions or cucumbers to his meal. "They're just veggies," he said. But those few slices were silently flooding his system with sodium. So, what can you do? Start with this simple principle: fresh is better. Canned isn't always kind. But if you enjoy pickled vegetables, and many people do consider these heart-smart steps, rinse your pickles before eating to wash away some of the surface sodium. Read nutrition labels carefully. If a product has over 300 milliliters of sodium per serving, think twice. Limit serving sizes. Enjoy pickled items as a garnish, not a main component of your plate. Choose low sodium or no salt added options when available. Flavor meals with herbs, lemon, vinegar, or garlic instead of table salt or brined toppings. And if salt can silently undermine your heart, what about the fiery flavors we use to spice up life? In the next section, we're heading into hotter territory literally. Let's talk about red chili peppers. There's something comforting about spice. A little heat wakes up a dull dish. For many, red chili peppers are more than a flavor. They're a connection to culture, emotion, and the feeling of being alive. But after age 60, that fiery thrill might come at a dangerous cost, especially for those with a sensitive cardiovascular system. Let's start with a surprising fact. Spicy foods, particularly hot chili peppers, can temporarily spike your blood pressure and heart rate by activating the sympathetic nervous system. That's the part of your body that responds to stress, your fight or flight system. According to data from the World Health Organization, capsaicin, the active compound in chili, can cause vasoconstriction, tightening your blood vessels and raising heart workload, especially in older adults with stiffer arteries. For a younger person, this effect might be mild, but for someone with existing heart disease, high blood pressure, or arrhythmia, even a single spicy meal can trigger a dangerous chain reaction. Just ask Mr. Noah, a 65-year-old from Houston. One winter morning, he decided to cook his favorite breakfast pho with extra chili oil. It was delicious. Within an hour, he felt his chest tighten, his pulse race. He assumed it was indigestion. But his smartwatch showed something different: a sudden heart rate of 125 BPM while seated. A trip to the cardiologist confirmed it: a stress-induced arrhythmia, triggered by dietary stimulation. Mr. Noah didn't need surgery, but he did need to change his relationship with spice. Here's the core issue. Spice is a stimulant. It raises adrenaline, it narrows vessels, it increases blood pressure, and when combined with aging arteries, it becomes fuel for an unstable cardiovascular system. But wait, does that mean you must give up flavor? Absolutely not. Let's take a step back and reset our perspective. Try these instead. Ginger adds heat without the adrenaline rush. Turmeric, anti-inflammatory and aromatic. Lemon zest or vinegar brightens dishes without salt or heat. Garlic in moderation. Cooked supports blood pressure without overstimulation. Fresh herbs like basil, cilantro, or rosemary bring aroma and depth. Also, pay attention to your body. If you notice a flushed face, palpitations, or post-meal fatigue after spicy food, that's not just discomfort, it's a signal. Now, if spice can stress the heart, what happens when a natural remedy, something praised for healing, starts thinning your blood too much? Let's take a closer look at raw garlic. For generations, garlic has been celebrated as a natural healer. It's been used to lower cholesterol, thin the blood, and boost circulation. Many seniors believe in its power deeply, some even swallow raw cloves whole like supplements. But here's what most don't realize: what heals in moderation can harm in excess, especially when mixed with prescription medication. Let's break this down. Raw garlic contains allicin, a compound that acts as a natural blood thinner. That's part of why it helps reduce clot formation. But if you're already on medications like warfarin, aspirin, or clopidogrel, this natural thinning effect can stack dangerously, pushing your blood into an over-thinned state. That's not just theory, and it's documented. According to Harvard Health, garlic supplements and raw intake can amplify the effects of anticoagulant drugs, raising the risk of internal bleeding, sudden drops in blood pressure, and fainting spells, especially in people over 60. Take Betty, for example, a 75-year-old grandmother who prided herself on natural remedies. She began eating 5 raw garlic cloves every evening after dinner. Her logic was solid: garlic lowers cholesterol and keeps the blood flowing. But a month in, she started experiencing dizzy spells, black stools, and spontaneous nosebleeds that wouldn't stop. A lab test showed meaning her blood was too thin. Betty was stunned. "I thought I was doing everything right," she told her doctor. She was, but without realizing that her food and her medication were now working against each other. Here's what's tricky. Garlic doesn't show warning signs until it's too late. There's no clear overdose. It doesn't make you feel sick. It just quietly alters how your body clots blood and regulates pressure. 2 things that matter deeply when you're managing a heart condition. But you don't have to give up garlic. You just have to use it wisely. Here's how. If you're on blood thinners, avoid raw garlic or large daily servings without medical guidance. Cooked garlic has a milder anticoagulant effect and is generally safer. Limit your intake to no more than 1 small clove per meal if eating raw, and only occasionally. Remember, your body after 60 is not the same as it was at 30. What once worked may now need adjustments. Let's turn to a common superfood topping that may be doing silent damage: raw sprouts. They look so fresh, so vibrant. A handful of bean sprouts on your soup? A sprinkle of alfalfa over your salad? Raw sprouts have earned their place as a superfood praised for enzymes, fiber, and raw energy. But for seniors over 60, and especially those with weakened immunity or cardiovascular conditions, that crisp crunch may be hiding a serious threat. Here's what most don't realize: raw sprouts grow in warm, damp environments, the very same conditions that dangerous bacteria like E. coli, salmonella, and listeria thrive in. While a younger adult might recover from foodborne illness in a few uncomfortable days, for older adults, these microbes can become life-threatening. Let's pause for a second. What starts as a mild stomachache can, in a senior with a heart condition, escalate to sepsis, severe dehydration, or even endocarditis, an infection of the inner lining of the heart. Yes, something as small as a contaminated sprout can literally infect the heart. So, what can you do if you love sprouts? Cook them first. A quick steam or sauté kills harmful bacteria while preserving flavor and most nutrients. Now that you've seen these 5 vegetables and the risks they quietly carry, you might be wondering, so what can I eat? What foods actually help heal the heart, support medications, and keep me strong? Let's talk about that next. As we close with a hopeful answer, let's take a moment to reflect. We've explored 5 vegetables that many believe are heart healthy, but when eaten the wrong way, or alongside common medications, can quietly harm the very organ they're meant to protect. From vitamin K in spinach, to sodium in pickled vegetables, to capsaicin stimulation, garlic's blood-thinning effect, and the bacterial risks in raw sprouts, each carries a hidden danger for seniors over 60. But this isn't about fear. It's about clarity, consistency, and care. So if this video helped you reconsider a habit or opened your eyes to something new, stay connected. Subscribe to Dr. Jarek for weekly insights that meet you where you are with wisdom, not judgment. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which vegetable surprised you the most today? Share in the comments so we can learn together. Your heart has already given you decades of life, laughter, and love. It still has strength and still has time. A few careful choices today can bring years of vitality tomorrow. So start small, eat mindfully, and above all, trust that every new step is worth taking for the heart that's still beating for you.